Hey yo, what's up? Welcome to another video upload from Aspie With Attitude. This is Fubex. I have autism and I've got a speech difficulty, speech impairment, have Asperger's syndrome, and that's why I call myself an Aspie. And also I've swapped the microphone for a fidget spinner too. So that would be enough for this fidget spin nose trick, which I'm going to do at the very end of this video. Since I'm actually going to be talking about how I used to be a rapper or a hip hop artist or rhyme lyricist. Well, anyway, this is not a hip hop channel that you're watching. This is an autistic YouTube creator channel. It's where I discuss autism awareness, autism acceptance, autistic politics that affects the worldwide autism community, and also this is when I tell my life experience living on the autism spectrum. Well, this is what I'm exactly going to do there. Talk about the life experience when I used to be part of the Australian hip hop scene. As I had explained back in episode 74, when I used to be a hip hop artist. So I've uploaded this video back on the 7th of September 2019. So just in case if you're from the hip hop crowd, you're going to see a lot of these test cards popping up. Okay, reason why a test card is going to pop up is because since the 26th of May 2018, I have been creating a lot of these test card art for my YouTube channel. Well, since I feel like I'm the only person on this planet that might have been turning up this kind of artwork, anyway, I just use this as bragging rights, just in case if someone takes on board my idea and probably just makes money out of it and I make nothing out of it, well, at least I have my bragging rights. Well, since this is all royalty free, but that's attached to Philips Electrics, which means Philips Electrics may still claim copyright since I actually take sides with Philips Electrics, since I'm using a test card that was invented in the late 60s by Finn Handel. Well, anyway, that's all you need to know. So I had started this whole hip hop game up in 2003. Well, this is all due to the fact that I wanted to thrive in a neurotypical driven society. What I mean by neurotypical driven society is that it's a society that doesn't have many autistic individuals involved. So being neurotypical is the opposite to being autistic. So as a teenage schoolboy, I grew up with a lack of friends to hang out with during my high school days. I'm talking about going out on weekends, going to football, chasing girls around, or going to movies, doing what teenage school kids do, but never did. And also plus, I pretty much explained this way back in episode 167. So that's the last one where I actually shed light on my progress in the hip hop scene. But anyway, what I'd like to start with this video content is, first, I want to talk about Rappertag. What has actually reawakened my interest in hip hop was a couple of weeks ago, 360 actually rebooted Rappertag Season 2. So at that time, when I was actually filming this video content, Nerve was being called up for Rappertag 3, and we were waiting for Nerve to publish his Rappertag. Here so going back in the first season, in Rappertag, I was actually called into Rappertag 33 by a mysterious rapper who dressed up as Odin. So something that everyone in the hip hop scene wanted to know. Okay, first off, what I got here is, since I started this YouTube channel, also these days, I'm an adult fan of Lego. So here's a close-up shot of my Star Wars Lego kit. So the reason why I'm showing this Star Wars Lego kit is just like an Easter egg to explain how did I originally Rappertag. So I'm actually going to just show you a video of the way Rappertag 33 originally was. MC Fubex, Rappertag number 33. First up, I wish to thank Odin for calling me up for this, and I hope to see you at one of my next show, Live Pets at B60. Let's just get started. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is put on some music. This is Fubex going for a bit of onslaughter and just killing like Luke Skywalker and with his lightsaber and walking around the single file just like a Tusken Raider. I'm just reaching my own breath just like Darth Vader in his Death Star, locking up Princess Leia, blowing up planets in a galaxy, and being stopped by Obi-Wan Kenobi and had to defeat him just like in A New Hope. Yeah, this ain't really dope. Just all heroes that's gonna die, and I can't even understand why. Just getting on a Starship Cruiser and just like watching The Biggest Loser and just jabber hard treating Princess Leia like a dirty slut, just like on the Return of the Jedi, and that just had to really fly over the monster mouth in the sand. You know, I just got the lightsaber in my hand. I'm calling R2-D2 just in case if you just never knew. Just in case if I didn't have to know ya. I'm much wiser than Yoda, and I just got a big white Jar Jar Binks. Just if you didn't know me, wiser than Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you can call me a Jedi Master. You know, this is, I don't even have a blaster, just don't need one. You know, my work's almost done. Yeah, alright. Yeah, that'll also do. Yeah, just got to cruise. This is MC Fubex. You're still watching Rappertag number 33. So who's next? Without a doubt, we'll find out. Back once again for Rappertag number 33. And who's next? Who's got Rappertag number 34? Patience, my friends. And I can tell you now, that chance we've got next, and may of course be with you always. Hey yo, what's up? Welcome to Rappertag number 33. First off, I wish to thank Odin, the Viking god, whoever played Odin. Yeah, man. This is Fubex up in the place, dropping the verse, exercising the rhythm, the rhymes and the words, like a big bang, ready to expand the universe, taking on board my opportunity to get heard, being down with 360 drafting Earth boy, needing your attention, we're bombed to deploy, raising the mushroom clouds, kill, crush, destroy, adding breaking the wall just like Pink Floyd, to find the negative from the positive vibe. Positivity in hip hop is what I like to imbibe. It's either do or die, there's shitloads to describe. Hear me diversify ideas circulating worldwide, just like the sun, the moon, the stars in the sky. Above our heads with other metaphors to apply. Love to share, dope flows I can't deny. It's reality and gravity that I could never defy. If it goes up and down just like a roller coaster, with my face stuck on the wall just like a poster, thinner than a sliced bread that's put in the toaster. Under the cold beer at a table we find a coaster. I'll keep on going, feeling fresh in my tracky dax, being on more than beats I made my raps, remaining generic, proving that I don't flow whack. As my haters think, the way I flow, that's that. Who was this dude who poses the Norse god? Could it be Taunts, Bigfoot, Heifer? I think not. Whoever it was, I swear I'll give a Viking god props. Whoa, upcoming next chapter dropped. No doubt, I always beat the peeps who they are. Never judge anybody by their skin colour. Show martial tolerance towards one another, and never judge book by the cover. Working with the same flow, I'll bring to microphone. Please respect, I walk the hard roads alone. Got high profile autism, Asperger's syndromes. The way I express myself has already been shown. Jumping for leap of faith, kept in every corner. It's showdown, this my lyrical onslaughter. Ending like a sign on the final quarter. Let it be known who's next is Chance Waters. Yeah, Chance Waters. Yeah, you're up next for Rappertag number 34. And it's actually been a pleasure to be in the same circuit as all big names so far, like Suffer MC from Hilltop Hoods. Yeah, definitely Draft, 360, Benz, Earthboy, and definitely Brad Strut and Lazy Grey. Yeah, Bias B, Low Tech, 1-6. Also, one of my guest artists for my second album, In Unity. And peace, love, and respect. Without a doubt, Fubex Rappertag number 33. So what made me change my Rappertag then? Well, first off, I just couldn't handle the cyberbullying, and I was just very unhappy with the choice, as it sounded like it was more of a Aspie With Attitude kind of thing, or the monthly 8 as I used to do it. So I just wasn't very happy. Yes, did get a lot of cyberbullying, despite that there were more dislikes than likes, which reduces the chance of getting better shows, like maybe getting my 5th time playing with 360, and also maybe getting the 3rd time with Bliss and SO or anything like that too. So everyone disliked it, and however it is though, I just want to show that I could have been more professional, like the way you've seen it for Rappertag 33. So anyway, so this is just the way it is now, and there was a guy in England did review it, and a guy in England did pick up on the fact that I did sound a bit cold, and he did pick up straight away that I was actually autistic. If there was a chance, if I was to get called into season 2 or any future season, if someone calls in Fubex, I would not be going by the name of Fubex. Instead, I'll be doing this under Aspie With Attitude, and my Rappertag will be uploaded to the Aspie With Attitude channel that you're watching now. And who I'll be tagging in is someone that I've recently shared the bill with from the most memorable show that I've ever done, just in case if people manipulate me, thinking that I'm going to get some rapper that I've never knew back in my heydays as a hip hop artist. So now I just want to get to a point. So how did autism affect me being a rhyme lyricist or rapper or MC, whatever you call it? So first off, I'd just like to get to the bottom of my sensory challenges. And one thing you need to know about some autistic individuals is some can't handle loud noises, some can't handle bright lights, and others can't handle being confined in big crowds. And the issue with music being very loud at hip hop shows, never had any problems. And often you get bright lights, never had a problem with that either. And some of the hip hop shows that I went to was very crowded, never had a problem. The sensory challenge I had is called tactile stimuli. What tactile stimuli challenges I have is, it's all to do with clothes. Now to explain the tracksuits. Since that hip hop scene was a neurotypical driven society, when I first got into the hip hop scene, nearly 70% of the crowd would actually come in wearing trackies, like Adidas pants or Nike or Puma. So that was 70% of the crowd, especially if you went to most of the obese shows. Well, as time progressed though, it became more of a jeans wearing culture, since that there were venues across Melbourne that would still put on the hip hop shows. If anyone turned up in tracksuit pants, they weren't allowed in. So I'll show you on the first album. So because on this first album, I've got a track called Door Bitch, and the way I feel about listening to Door Bitch is, I'm actually the founder of Karen Raps. So you've got to understand what a Karen is. And speaking of tracksuits though, you can just see how I've broke away from my hip hop past. And also people in the neurotypical different society did say tracksuits do belong on the couch. Well, as it happens, I'm sitting on the couch. And due to my autism, I have sensory challenges with jeans. So wearing a pair of jeans was just too overwhelming for me. That's something that neurotypicals don't understand, because neurotypicals can deal with change in a blink of an eye, and they can cope with jeans. When I first started rapping, the jeans were baggy, and towards the end of her days of rapping, her jeans got tight as a Nike high-tech fleece pants. And presumably now, people are going out and ripped jeans. Well, probably can't because of COVID-19. So like, that was all explained back in episode 170 when I talked about my sensory challenges. And one of my most fatal mistakes in the hip hop scene was trying to mask my autism. And I actually did a very horrible job at it because a lot of people in the hip hop scene did pick up that I was actually autistic since it was a neurotypical driven society. So like, I just thought to get the same level as where Illy, 360, Draft, Remy, All Day, Bliss and Nessa on the Hilltop Woods are. Like, I thought that I would have to mask my autism. And also, another reason why I took up freestyle rapping is, I just thought it was going to solve my problems with my speech, like speech difficulty. Earlier, I did say I had a speech impairment and a speech impairment. I thought that was going to solve it, but I thought becoming a hip hop artist was actually going to solve my autism, which it didn't. So, one thing I wish I've actually really done more than anything else was really embrace my autism, because it had affected my ability to rap, to do shows, and to be able to engage with the audience too. So that's why people are too scared of getting me on a bill sometimes. So like, it's just all reflect on the autism. And I can remember there was a rapper named Billy Bunks who got called into Rappertag 31. I remember back in the days when he did pick up on the fact that I was autistic when I first met him at one of the MC battles that happened in one of the parks in Melbourne called Tongue Tied. Now he's a cool, awesome dude. He's a guy that actually got a bowl of beer, got a box of Frosty cereal, and actually mixed Frosty cereal with beer for his Rappertag, still in his tradies gear. So like, yeah, that was just Billy Bunks. Like, it would have been his idea to have me in Rappertag, but I cannot see myself getting to any future Rappertags anymore now. Even though I've said I'm going to go as Aspie With Attitude, and also plus to really embrace autism and to talk about autism acceptance, and this whole Light Up Red and boycott Autism Speaks. So that's what my Rappertag would be about. And considering that I had been through a lot of discriminations, like there were plenty of scumbags, and like I did say in episode 80, I did describe them to be pathetic losers if anyone called me retard, spastic or eugenic. Well anyway, that's what they are if they did. All this is hate. Sometimes people just can't stand people being different. And I keep repeating myself, this is actually neurotypical driven society. Well, as I pretty much covered this back in episode 47 when I talk about echolalia. So enough of this though, like also there's been a lot of bullying towards me both on the internet, both in the real world as well too, like, and so on therefore. And one thing I remember is manipulation. So a lot of people did have a crack at manipulating me into the person that I wasn't. So like, sometimes I just try to get into more of the softer stuff that I did in the next chapter, but I had plenty of people that wanted me to be just as hard as taunts and everything like that. And also to continue on with my bogan homophobic flows. Well, since there's a lot of homophobic contents on this one, which is something I actually gotta hate myself for this, like all that homophobia and everything like that too. Well, it's just the way I've been brought up as a Catholic and everything like that, since I'm out of this whole Christian faith thing just due to these circumstances. And also considering that I'm actually asexual, so like there was in episode 146 when I did come out as an asexual, just describing an individual who lack sexual attraction towards other people, whether they're male, a female, or the same. So you've got to check this episode out to understand what I mean, and it's still part of it LBGTQIA. So like I've sent as a letter A in this one. So just to carry on people will remember me at most hip hop shows. Like, I used to always be jammed up in front row. I used to always be stimming like this, just to sort of like release the energy, since I was really getting to the vibe. Well, some acts could have been very dodgy, but others were pretty cool. So like, especially like anything from taunts to stuff like All Day, for instance. And one thing I appreciate about the hip hop scene is there had been plenty of space for autism acceptance. Like, what would have made me a better MC or a better rapper is the fact that I did embrace my autism a bit more. Just like, I didn't have to be at gigs where there's going to be a lot of bad language like it was with Taunts and Lyrical Commission. And also plus, like, if I ever stuck with going to shows, say like with Joelistics, Elf Transporter, Mantra and Grey Ghost and all that, that's where I should have actually been directing myself. Most of my success had actually came from dudes like Tranquil Artillery and Lost Fury. They really got me up on stage with C-Century, and also there was Quinny and T as well, back in April 2009. And with Bliss and SR for Falls Creek at the Snow, since I didn't have any professional managers, so like, how hard would that be for anyone neurotypical to even get the opening spot with Bliss and SO? So like, I was actually lucky to get it. It was just a lot of hard work and everything like that too. If it wasn't for global warming back in 2006, if the acts didn't pull out, I would never got the opening act with Bliss and SO. But however it is, I had the second chance in 2008 and just really ripped it as well too. Like, that's probably just a bit of a once in a lifetime thing. So like, if I get called in a Rappertag season 2, I'll probably be taking Bliss and SO only if I actually really have the chance. So anyway, like, I just want to just show you just a few things. Like, this is back from 30th of July 2011 when I actually did perform a set. This is just one of the videos I look back into from a decade ago. So yeah, come and check this one out. I'm MC Fubex and I'm presenting you a video from a show that I did at Hi-Fi Bar in Melbourne. And since 2003, I've always seriously wanted to play at that venue. And it's 30th of July 2011. I finally got my chance to play it out. I'm here to play you some parts.
Worldwide hip hop being heard. Junior rock crowds lost in majority concerts. Once hip hop cases began with good words. Just Fubex out, we like Fubex. Just the basic we have got Fubex. We DJ down and scratching the cuts on dance. Cause my best mix of blood, yeah. It's Fubex, the next chapter. It's Fubex, the next chapter. It's what's in one head, 700 runs through my iron tongue. We're better down the wounds, full stall. But not all, just drop your game wall. We're this versus push on ball. Move down, always with the pizza that's up. I never judge anybody, got a team up. As I show out to a point for one another. The man is just books for the cover. Give me what internet geeks trying to say. There's also ignorance that give me the beauty in the dark as the humanity. Share equality to the community. Give me the beauty in the dark as the humanity. Share equality to the community. Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed my set that I've done at the Hi-Fi Bar 30th of July 2011. Make sure you come upcoming, release 2007. And the next chapter that was released in 2010. But anyway, that's the best show I had that's been caught on camera. So just me sitting on the train, like, you get to see how it resembles as the Aspie With Attitude video upload. Also, when I played this gig at Hi-Fi Bar, after 4 times I actually did show 360, I actually had cursor literally in the front row when I was actually performing this set at the Hi-Fi Bar. And what was happening at that time is I was in the MC battle, which is the last one that I did back on 30th of July 2011. Well, unfortunately, I lost. I didn't really care because all I cared about was that show that I was performing at a Hi-Fi Bar. Since my biggest goal was actually rock a set at a hi-fi bar on 125 Swanson Street in Melbourne. And how cool is it to actually have Kirsty in the front row while I'm actually up on stage doing the thing? It just wasn't all that fun and games either. Like, I can remember when I used to have my meltdowns. Like, I'll give you episode 136 when I said no to meltdowns on videos. Since it's the same as what I mentioned back in episode 25, which is actually too old. But I remember how I used to get very frustrated, especially there's been times I've been dumped on bills, how gigs got cancelled. And if I still wanted to be active in the hip hop scene, I wouldn't imagine myself coping, all due to the coronavirus pandemic that started in beginning of 2020. But right now, each and every video uploads I put up, I get the same satisfaction as actually having a gig or uploading a track or releasing an album. Like, even once I get that video up, I'll get the same satisfaction as that, and I can just keep going on and keep doing better with all the other video uploads. And just to stick to the autism acceptance, this being an autistic YouTube creator channel. And the worst fatal mistake also was, as I explained in episode 102, when I did talk about expectations. And what really happened was, like, from day one when I first started this whole hip hop scene up, I had mega expectations that I was gonna get as big as Illy, Draft, 360, All Day, Bliss and Nessa on the Hilltop Hoods. Afraid none of this has ever happened. Because as it happens though, like, there's hundreds of thousands of people in Australia who is wanting the same goal, and even those who are able to sell burnt CDs for $10 at a hip hop gig, considering that, like, the best I've actually ever did was, I got far as actually releasing these 2 albums, which is actually for real. Pretty much all professionally released. Yeah, sometimes I used to get dumped on bill, I used to have this, and sometimes someone will just sell a burnt CD. Someone would just sell blank CDs, people would just get an art line and just tag it and just sell it, saying like, oh, I'm better than Fubex, and we'd get a show despite that, even if they didn't engage with their crowd at all. So, like, it's a dominating industry. At the time when I was filming this video, I only had 559 subscribers. As it happens, I am very happy to have 559 subscribers, but it's still gonna due to go up. So, like, it'll go up slowly. So that's the purpose of being a small YouTuber, because I don't want to go through the same stress as I had back in hip hop when I used to get frustrated, go through meltdowns, and just that kind of frustration that you're not getting yourself in front of over 1,000 people. Since that my weakness being on stage sometimes was like, I didn't work hard enough to engage with the audience that was in front of me. Considering that most of the time, I only really had 10 to 15 people. But I did okay when I did the album launch for the next chapter back at the end of May. So, like, I can imagine this 7 years before I even started this whole YouTube channel. That was my official album launch for the next chapter. The last hip hop track that I actually released was called Get Your Groove On, which I did on the 23rd of October 2019. Well, the reason why I did it is, since I was hooked up with this whole test card art, I thought it was a good way to develop my skills and everything like that. While I'm just still learning how to use Photoshop and Magic's Movie Maker to do all this, but I thought just give me the opportunity to just show off whatever talent. But the trouble is, as my creativity skill got a bit better in Aspie With Attitude, that video got too old too quick, and that was the beginning of my 3rd album that was never released. And I was gonna digitally release a 3rd album, then by the time in 2015, I lost a lot of motivation due to lifestyle changes, like getting a new job, coming home late, and the house was very in disrepair, and it was all beyond my control that I had to share the house with my sister, since she didn't have a job or anything like that too. So it's just a very long personal story about what happened. Well, in the end, after I moved out and got my own place, I ended up starting up this YouTube channel because in the start of 2018, I was going to start rapping again, which never came to that in the end. And I was inspired by other autistic YouTube creators when I thought, for my third album, I should do more to embrace more autism, but now I thought, that's easier doing this way. So like, it just makes me happy that I'm actually YouTubing now, since this is a thing, particularly getting myself through the coronavirus pandemic. So like, if you really love what I'm doing, yeah, please subscribe to Aspie With Attitude. And you can keep up to date with Aspie With Attitude by ringing this notification bell. And also, you can do more to support this channel by liking and sharing this video content around. Since this talks about how my autism's affected my presence in the hip hop scene. And also, plus, you can leave a comment down below, because like, back in episode 74, I did get a shout out from Morns, one of the biggest names in the Melbourne underground hip hop scene. So like, I love to get more shout outs from other hip hop artists from the old school and maybe the new school, but I highly doubt that Bliss or Chillin' that's gonna actually shout out in the comments down below. So anyways, that's what it's there for. And also, plus, all the thumbnails that I've been showing off pretty much a whole video content, which I'll leave the links in the description down below, just in case if you're very interested in what I do these days. Like, and I still love my tracksuits, and those college style tracksuits like North Carolina is a breakaway from the hip hop scene. And also, as it happens though, since I don't have my Fubex gear anymore, at least I've got the Echo t-shirt on. Like, how cool would it be, how ironic would it be if they actually sold Fubu clothing in Kmart as well as Echo. So, anyway, like, this has just been a very long video, unintentionally to being a very long video. Since there's just so much to actually talk about how much of a good time I had with the hip hop scene. Like, you know, I'm just glad that I actually got out of the hip hop scene before the pandemic. Like, I wouldn't be able to handle the stress. Well, at least you can't be barred from your own home at all. So like, yeah, just an adult fan of Lego these days, and also plus got all my succulent plants growing here. And the reason why cameras pushed so far back is like, I just like to see myself actually wear the full tracksuit in every videos that I do, since it does make it a bad video if it's just not like clothing like this at all. And the way I always finish it off is with a fidget spinner these days. So I always sit on my nose and thanks for watching, thanks for listening to Aspie With Attitude. So like, just in case if you didn't know, this is actually Fubex, and peace and respect, and see you next time.